And so we can perceive change as difficult, as hard, or something we don't want to do. But if we don't do it, we essentially get the same old results. However, we don't like the same old results. The only way to break that cycle of the same old results is to change something. And again, even if you think nothing's changing inside, you're changing. We're aging, aren't we? So even though you think things aren't changing in your life, you might be just judging one aspect of life, such as your job. But your relationship dynamics are probably in a state of transformation. And the fact that you've just judged that your work is in a constant state of dislike, then it's just the judgment that you're then looking for supportive information to back up that judgment. And so you keep looking for evidence to support your position. Welcome back to the Joyful Mate podcast. I'm your host, your Joyful Journey mentor, Anthony Harcher. And today we're chatting about embracing change. Yes, change is all around us. We have here in Australia a change in seasons, going from spring into summer. In the Northern Hemisphere, it is from maybe it's autumn into winter, if I'm right. I'm sure I should get that correct. However, it doesn't matter where you are, this change is inevitable. It is all around us. Every moment, every time, we perceive things as if they haven't changed, but everything is in a state of transformation. Everything is changing, whether it be below us, around us, or above us. It's in a constant state of flux. For example, the weather. The weather is always in a period of changing. So it might be blowing in one direction in the morning. The next hour it starts changing direction. The next hour it's blowing in the other direction. The temperature is constantly changing. It's going up, down, plateau, down, up, down. And same with, I guess, the people around us, right? So the people around us are either consistently doing the same things or they're changing the way they interact with you. And so the same with, I guess, where we live, for example, location. Like you might live in the same house, but the surroundings is constantly changing and your house is actually changing. Your house is getting older. There's more maintenance to do. And I know all about that. I'm doing a lot of maintenance on my house at the moment. It's hit the decade marks. It's due for a bit of an uptick in terms of refresh. But it was always getting older. Nothing ever stays new. So it's, once you get something you perceive as new, it is transforming to go old, but it was always transforming anyway, irrespectively. And so we can perceive change as difficult, as hard, or something we don't want to do. But if we don't do it, we essentially get the same old results. However, we don't like the same old results. And the only way to break that cycle of the same old results is to actually change something. And again, even if you think nothing's changing inside, you're changing. You're like, in essence, we're aging, aren't we? So even though you think things aren't changing in your life, you might be just judging one aspect of life, such as your job. But your relationship dynamics are probably in a state of transformation. And the fact that you've just judged that your work is in a constant state of dislike, then it's just the judgment that you're then looking for supportive information to back up that judgment. And so you keep looking for evidence to support your position. We get stuck in this state of pride that I'm right, my job sucks, and it's boring. But in actual fact, there's always spice there. There's always elements of change within your job. You're just blinded to it. You can't see it because you're so fixated on seeing the negative aspects of your job. It's the same in relationships. When we think it's the same relationship, it's boring, there's no spice. There is elements of spice. You're just looking for further evidence to back you, to make you feel right, that there's no spice in the relationship. There is spice, however, it's not in how you want it. It's coming in different forms, and we need to look at all the different forms that variety, growth, change comes in. And if we're not liking the change, then we need to ask ourselves, what am I stuck with? What is it of what I liked in the past that I'm stuck with? List all those things that you've liked about that thing in the past that you're stuck and you want it to be the same old. List all those things. And then they're all the benefits of why you like the old location, the old house, the old environment. You've got all the benefits there. Now start listing the downsides of that location, the downsides of that relationship, the downsides of that old work that you once liked and you're not liking your new work, for example. And then if you start listing the downsides, you start to get a complete awareness. You're no longer judging it. You see that it's got both things that you like about it and things that you don't like about it. And they're intertwined, they're entangled. But what happens when we judge it and think that it's all good, we are blinded to seeing what's not so good about it. And so it doesn't matter where you are or where you've come from, everything's whole and complete. We just need to open our perceptions to seeing the wholeness in our environment, in our relationships, and not getting stuck on a particular way things need to be done in order for you to think that that's the right way or that that's love. Like if we judge love, then we're not understanding what love is. It's whole and complete. It's in a constant state of transformation. It's completely endless and boundless in terms of how love can be given. But if we've fixated on a few ways in which we can receive love, then we're missing all the other ways in which love can be given to us. And we're frustrated because we want it in the old ways and we're not seeing the greatness in the ways in which it's coming. So we need to really open our perceptions when we're resisting change and look at what is holding us back in terms of you're fixated on these benefits of the old. Look at the downsides of that to get a balanced perspective. And then what you want to do is look at the current and look at the upside, because what you're judging the current situation is that it's all bad. And so therefore you're blinded or can't see the other side, which is the upside of what you're not seeing. So if you're struggling with change, what you want to do is get a complete picture of the past by looking at the downsides of what you just considered was all upside, and then move to your current situation and then look at what is great about the current situation, as opposed to being fixated that, the current situation sucks. My current job sucks. My past job was great, or my current relationship's not great, but the last one I thought was better. It's all balanced. Everything you need is there. It's just how you perceive it and whether you judge it. If you judge it, you get fixated on one aspect of it. So if you want to move forward in life, we need to see both sides. We need to see the wholeness, and that way we can be grateful for everything as it is. And we actually see more opportunities when we're present, because we're not looking for things in the way that you think you need them. They're appearing in ways that you actually need them, or ways in which you're not seeing because you're so fixated on thinking that it's got to be this way. And so opportunities come to us in many different forms. We just need to be open to receiving them in many different forms, like love, for example. So I hope that helps in terms of this transition from thinking the old was great or the past was great and the present is not so good. It is. You're just not seeing it. And so if you sit down there and write down all the things that you're liking about the present situation, and you need to be real. And in order to do this, in order to actually apply this thinking, you need to be in a non-stress state. You need to be in a very relaxed and a very connected state, a very centered state. And in order to get there, we need to connect that brain and heart. And that is really slowing down our brain waves so that they can talk to the heart. So what you want to do before doing this exercise is actually getting yourself in that calm state. Because if you're frazzled and frustrated, then you're only going to see what you're judging. We need to get out of our head brain and connect it with the heart brain so they're both on the same page, right? And when we do that, we can see the wholeness. We can see the fullness, and we can love it as it is. We can be grateful as it is, as opposed to the judgment, which is where you're stuck at the moment. And it's why you're wanting the old and not wanting to let go of the old in order to embrace the new opportunities. You're not seeing them because you're fixated on what you liked about the past. And again, our energy can affect this as well. If we're tired, then it can be hard also doing this sort of work. So you might want to look at ways to pick up your vitality so you can actually do this hard work, to let go of your pride and to embrace it as it is. That can require looking after yourself, doing a bit of self-care so that you can start nurturing yourself, bringing back the energy, calming the mind, connecting with the heart so you can embrace the wholeness of where you're at. And when you do this, you'll be grateful and you'll be loving where you're at. And when we're doing that, we have this timeless mind and ageless body. So time stops and we're completely present. And that's the best state for our well-being, is to be completely present and accepting things as they are and seeing both, yes, it's got upsides, positives, but it's also got its downsides and negatives, but it's complete as it is. And it's exactly what I need in this moment. So if that was helpful, please let me know. If you want any other insights in terms of where you're struggling to move forward and grow and thrive, then please reach out. Please reach out to me, and I can certainly coach you and mentor you and guide you along this journey to becoming the best version of you. Thanks for listening. And until the next episode, continue on your joyful journey.